Hello, book friends. We are halfway through Epistolary January. I hope you are enjoying diving into epistolary books this month. And I thought I would come on here because when I was researching epistolary books, came across quite a few titles that I had never heard of and that really called out to me. And so I added all of these books to my bookshelves. And while they didn't make it on to my pile of possibilities for January, they are definitely books I want to read. And I thought I would share them with you in case any of these titles sound interesting and make you want to add them to your bookshelves as well. Hello, I'm Jen and welcome back to my reading life. And today I'm here to share all about some epistolary novels that are on my TBR. As I said in the intro, when I was doing some research about epistolary books, and I just went down kind of a rabbit hole, and there are so many epistolary novels and collections of diaries and journals from famous people and regular people and all kinds of people throughout the ages, and I just found some titles that sounded so intriguing to me. And while these didn't make it onto my pile of possibilities for January, there's no guarantee that I won't read one or two of these before the end of the month. You never know. But I definitely want to read them. And when I first heard about them, I was so intrigued that I had to get a copy for my own bookshelves. And so I'm going to go through these titles with you right now. And my first book, and I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce the title, is Zenziel, I'm not sure. This is A Letter for My Daughter by J. Nazipo Marer. And this says on the back, "How could I allow you to grow up reading Greek classics and watch you devour The Merchant of Venice and Romeo and Juliet, yet be ignorant of the lyrical, the romantic, and the tragic that have shaped us as Africans?" And so begins an extraordinary letter and legacy from a Zimbabwean mother to her beloved daughter, a student at Harvard. Interweaving history and memories in the tradition of the village storyteller, a mother bears her soul in parables from her own past that parallel Zimbabwe's struggle for independence. In this moving, often humorous novel, she tells of her own evolution, of her sister and cousin, a guerrilla fighter and a spy, and of how she met and married Zenzele's father, a firebrand activist lawyer. With each story comes a revelation of character, conflict, principle, prejudice, love, and transcendence to a daughter who has rejected tradition for the freedom and opportunity of Western culture. It is a call to roots, to the heritage that has given her the character and gifts she now shares with the world, and to the extended family that is her own most powerful resource and Africa's greatest treasure. And I just thought this sounded so fascinating and just really, really, really wonderful and such a unique story. So I think it's almost just one very, very long letter. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's broken up into multiple letters, but it is written in epistolary style. And so I very much want to read this, and I just think it sounds fascinating. I don't know that much about African sort of history and lore, so I just thought this would be such an interesting way to kind of get into that subject matter. My next epistolary novel is a middle grade book, and that is Absolutely Normal Chaos by Sharon Creech. And this is actually, I'm not sure if it's a sequel or a prequel to Walk Two Moons, which is a wonderful middle grade book. If you have not read it, oh my goodness, read it. It's wonderful, but have your tissues ready at the end. But this is our main character from Walk Two Moon, Mary Lou Finney. And this is basically, she has a summer assignment from her teacher to keep a journal. And so this is her journal from the summer. And it says, Mary Lou Finney is less than excited about her assignment to keep a journal over the summer. Boring. Then comes Carl Ray to stay with her family, and what starts out as the dull dog days of summer quickly turns into the wildest roller coaster ride of all time. How was Mary Lou supposed to know what would happen with Carl Ray and the ring, or with her boy-crazy best friend Beth Ann, or with, sigh, the permanently pink Alex Cheevy? Suddenly, a boring school project becomes a record of the most exciting, incredible, unbelievable summer of Mary Lou's life. but what if her teacher actually does read her journal? This sounds very fun, very light. So if you're looking for something along those lines, I think maybe you want to read Walk Two Moons first. I have a feeling. So if you've read Walk Two Moons, then you might want to pick this one up. But if you haven't read Walk Two Moons, absolutely go read that book. It is fantastic, but I'm excited for this one. And my next epistolary book is actually, I believe, sort of a Japanese classic. And that is The Pillow Book of Sai Shonagon. And this is the diary of a courtesan in 10th century Japan. This edition is translated by Arthur Whaley. And I think it is just what it says. It says, Japan in the 10th century stood physically and culturally isolated from the rest of the world. In her diary, a young courtesan of the Heian period provides a highly personal account of the intrigues, dalliances, foibles, and habits of Japan's 10th century elite. Sai Shonagon was a contemporary of Murasaki Shikibu, author of The Tale of Ganji, and her story brings an added dimension to Murasaki's timeless and seminal work. Yes, so I'm very much intrigued by this. I love Japanese translated literature, and this is obviously nonfiction, but I am very, very intrigued to read this and yes, just kind of find out a little bit about 10th century Japan, which I know nothing about. So when I heard about this, I had to pick it up. And then next up is actually another book of a Japanese woman's experience, but this is a novelization, and that is The American Diary of a Japanese Girl by Yone Noguchi. And this follows Miss Morning Glory, a young Japanese girl who moves to America at the age of 18 with her wealthy uncle. As she travels across the country from San Francisco to New York, she makes friends with an aspiring actress and comments on the diverse culture of the nation. And this was first published in 1901, so this is fairly old, but it really sounds very interesting. So yes, I'm so curious. I think when I was reading about this one, that this is one of the first books published by a Japanese American woman in the United States. Another very slim volume, and another one that I am also very much looking forward to. And then this next book, I thought was going to be more epistolary than I think it actually is. It does contain some letters, and then it also contains just a novel written as a novel. So it's a little bit of a mashup of both. And that book is The Incarnations by Susan Barker. This one's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I'm kind of intrigued by it. This is set in Beijing. It says, when a Beijing taxi driver begins receiving mysterious letters left in his car from someone claiming to be his soulmate, he becomes convinced that he has a stalker. Who could know driver Wang so well and yet be capable of writing the searing letters which speak of a shared past that spans over 1,000 years? Wang's previous lives are vividly described by the secret writer, taking him back in time to a spirit bride in the Tang dynasty, to a young slave on the run from Genghis Khan, to a concubine plotting to kill the emperor. Each letter feels at once familiar and terrifying as Wang feels the watcher growing closer and closer. Seamlessly weaving Chinese folklore and centuries of history with a taut story of intrigue, betrayal, and love, The Incarnations is an astonishing tale for the ages. Well, that sounds very interesting, so I'm at least going to give this one a try. I don't know. Has anyone read this? Please let me know if you have and what you thought of it, but I'm very, very intrigued by this one. And next up is a collection of letters between two very famous people, and that is Wallace and Edward Letters, 1931 to 1937, the intimate correspondence of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. These are, of course, the letters between Edward VIII of England, who abdicated the throne so that he could marry Wallis Simpson, a divorcee from America, and they, lived together until I forget which one of them passed away first, but yeah, so obviously it was a huge scandal at the time, big news in England and around the world that he abdicated the throne for this woman. And They just seem like such an interesting couple, and I have read a number of novels where the two of them have featured as characters, and I really just want to kind of read about them from their own perspective and just kind of see what they were really like and see how the characterizations that I have read of them or watched of them in television shows and movies, see how true that feels to their real letters to one another. So I am excited to have this on my shelf. And this might be a book that I just kind of dip in and out of. I don't know that I will sit down and read it cover to cover, but this could just be kind of a nonfiction to have on the go this year. Yes, very much looking forward to learning more about Wallace and Edward. And then my final epistolary novel that I'm going to share with you in this video was actually a recommendation from one of you, and honestly, I'm just intrigued by this because it sounds very much like Business as Usual, which is one of my favorite epistolary novels. And I think this might be sort of the American version of that, kind of. And that book is, I'm going to show you the spine because there's no dust jacket. Thursdays, let me show you. Thursdays Till 9 by Jane Trahey. And I think this follows some people who work at some different stores. It looks like in maybe Chicago. Oh, it looks like it's all over the world. Not all over the world, all over the US, excuse me. So I know at the beginning it says the author is grateful for permission to use the logos from Marshall Field and Company, Carson Peary Scott and Company, and Neiman Marcus. And so, yes, I think we are just following along. It looks like our main character might be Penelope Smith. I have no idea what to expect, but it's letters. There are telegrams in here. There are all kinds of like inner office correspondence. So yes, I'm actually kind of interested in reading this right now. I don't know. I might have to dive into this one right away. I mean, I don't think it will take very long to get through. A lot of the, I mean, this is a huge, look how big, this book is bigger than my head. But there isn't a lot of writing on the pages. So I think this will be a very quick read. And yes, I'm very interested in this one. So I think I might pick this one up today. Not that I don't have 5 other books already on the go. And those are some more epistolary books that I have on my TBR. And if you're looking for even more epistolary recommendations, I am going to link the videos of my co-hosts where they shared recommendations and their own personal TBRs. And I'll have links to all of their channels as well. You should go check them all out. They are such lovely ladies. That will wrap it up for this video, but let us chat down in the comments. I would love to know, what are you reading for Epistolary January? What are you planning to read for the rest of the month? Did any of the books I talked about here today intrigue you? Are you going to add any of them to your TBR? Let's chat all things epistolary down in the comments. And if you're here but you don't have anything you'd like to say, but you'd like to let me know you were here, because comments really do help my channel, of course, leave something epistolary, some sort of epistolary emoji, a letter, an envelope, a mailbox, a journal, whatever it is that seems epistolary to you. I love seeing those comments and knowing that you were here, and they really do help my channel, as do likes and now hypes if you're on the YouTube mobile app. And if you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I would love to have you join my cozy bookish community. And as always, I'll be back with another video very soon. And until then, I wish you a good book and a warm cuppa. Bye.